Hi everyone and welcome to another card tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to layer one die that isn't stackable to give a focal image. The image I'm using is the Polka dot pal Gemma, which is a freebie, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more at the towards the coloring section. But first we're jumping into the card making part. I wanted to show you the fussy cutting because there's a few things with this. One thing is I did a rough cut of the character first. That helps because otherwise you have a lot of cardstock hanging around and that can make you cut wrongly with your scissors. The other thing is I'm, as usual, moving the character with the paper and not the scissors, and that actually helps a lot with cutting the outline. This card, you can win it by commenting down below, and I will, towards the end of the video, I'll tell you what you're going to comment to be able to win this. I promise. But yeah, we start with the pattern papers. I'm picking out a couple of pattern papers from the Doodlebug Designs Love Notes series. I just love these papers, even though they're not my color scheme. Like yellows and reds, I don't really work with them usually, but I'm trying to work outside of my comfort zone. I picked out those little tags, and they actually ended up being the reason why I'm choosing to use a tag die, but I don't use them because it didn't look the way I wanted, and I actually cut out all of that from the video. It would have been really long. The die I'm using is the MFT cross-stitch tag die, but I'm just using the tag version of it. And then I also cut it out in some white cardstock because I realized there weren't not enough contrast between the pattern paper, the different pattern papers. So using the white cardstock, because I'm going to use a white card base, kind of helps pop that a little bit. Then I'm going to do the sentiment. I'm using a sentiment from a sentiment stamp called Coffee Break. Sadly, I think it is retired, but I love it. I'm stamping it in some MERMAN ink by Fawn. And then I'm going to cut it down, and I'm cutting it to be about, I think, an 1/8 or 3/16 width, just around the sentiment, but I'm leaving kind of the bottom because that is going to be how I fasten it to the tag. And then I'm using a 1/4 inch corner rounder just to round those corners. This has become my absolute favorite way of adding my sentiments to my cards. I just love it. Then I'm using my funky tape runner, and I'm actually running out of tape for that one, so I'm waiting for some refills to come in the mail. Everything is going so slow right now, but yeah. I'm just using the tape runner as my adhesive everywhere. It makes it so much easier, except for where I want something to be popped up. I use some foam squares this time around. I'm just putting the tape around the edges because I just wanted it to be on an angle to get that die to really pop from that really busy background. Just by doing that, it made such a difference from having the die itself or having the die together with that little white edge that the white die cut do. Everything is layered onto that pattern paper, which is cut to 4 and 5 1/4 to give me about an 1/8 inch on each side of the pattern paper. And then I'm layering onto an A2 card that I have created from some Nina, and that's kind of the card part. It's done. The card is done. I'm finishing on with some foam square. I usually use the 3M foam tape because it's a little bit thinner and I really love it. However, I'm starting to come to a somewhat end of that roll, and it's hard to get things shipped right now, so I'm using up everything I have in my drawers. And these foam squares, I have a lot of those. They're a little bit higher, so it's not my favorite foam kind of, but I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use them until I can get things shipped better here. So yeah, and then I'm just gonna add the character, and that card is done. We are gonna jump into the coloring here. So first, the card. You can win the card by commenting down below what is your favorite stamp company that does kind of character stamps, your favorite stamps, whether it's digital or if it's other kind of stamps. Just tell me down below what is your favorite stamp and stamp company, and I will put you into a drawing to win the card, and I will draw in 1 week's time. And about that, the other 2 videos will be drawn today after I have finished recording this video. I'm a little bit behind, I had a rough week. But yeah, the coloring of this character, the character itself is called Gemma. She's a polka dot pal, and she's a digital free download. I'm gonna do all the links in the description down below and also on my page. Polka dot pal characters have a very big place in my heart. I was a design team member for Little Miss Muffet Stamps, which is Barbara. Barbara is the creator behind these polka dot pals. And I sadly had to step off that design team, I think 2016, 2017. I was overwhelmed with everything, and I just quit almost all my design teams. I just couldn't handle it, and it has taken me all the way to now to actually get back into doing some kind of regularity when it comes to my card making again. But yeah, the polka dot pals were the characters that I loved the most from the Little Miss Muffet Stamps, and she closed her doors for her boutique about a year ago-ish, maybe something around there. But she has signed up with Whimsy stamps, and she's creating some clear stamps now with the polka dot pals, and I'm super happy because I so much love them. I haven't had the opportunity to shop there yet, so when she came out with this little freebie, I was so happy. I just love her stamps. I was so sad that I had to leave her design team because of health and because it was chaos. It was just chaos. But yeah, I really love her characters, and I am surely going to buy some of those clear stamps soon. I'm going to own them. That's just how it's going to be. I'm going to own them. But yeah, into the coloring of the character, I have chosen to go with a sort of limited color scheme, but still there's a lot more colors than I usually use, but I felt that the details needed to have that. So I'm using a lot of the E40s for the browns. I do add a little bit of other colors just because I was making Coca-Cola and I wanted it to be that color. I'm using the ends as my grays, and I actually use the ends as my shade also. And that is a tip I have now and then, is if you have a very detailed image and you don't mind it having a slightly grey tinge to the color, you can actually just shade with a grey tone. If you have multiple greys, you can shade with the grey tones, and when that kind of have dried, you can just add one color on top, a mid to light tone on top for the different details, which I'm doing specifically in her skirt. So I'm shading the skirt with grey, and I'm actually just using the N0 there. I'm not even going in with the N1 for the greys on the skirt. I'm just using the N0. And then I'm adding the blue, the green and the red that I'm using for other parts in the design, just to kind of tie them in. I'm also going to do that grey shading with the bow in her hair because I decided I wanted it to be green, and I didn't want to pick out matching colors. But yeah, that is the card. I hope you liked this video. If you want to see the real-time coloring of this video that will be linked down below and over here. If you have any questions, just comment down below, and if you like this video, please thumbs it up. It means a lot to me. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.